Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. Today we're going to be talking about Cardano, of course, and we're going to be talking about a couple of things that have been kind of not necessarily plaguing the Cardano community, but are definitely worth discussing and trying to get to the bottom of it. One of them being a recent research report by a particular group claiming that the ADA token could very well be useless. And we're going to dive into that, who said it, why. And we're going to get into the idea of a USDC stablecoin and ultimately what that means to Cardano, why it's becoming such a bigger and bigger request from the Cardano community. It seems to be kind of, it's ending up in a bit of an echo chamber, if you will, where other stablecoins are basically pushed out as not having any relevance to Cardano or use, and it's all about USDC, and we're going to dive into that a little bit as well. One quick point, I am going to be doing a live stream tomorrow for those of you that watched the video interview I did, basically with the Amazon guys, the folks that basically automate your Amazon business for you. They handle everything. You invest in the product and all of that and inventory. They handle everything for you and basically cut you a check. And I've been getting so many questions and emails and Twitter messages and things. And so we're going to have them on. We're going to do a live and let you guys answer or ask all the questions you could possibly have. So expect that tomorrow about 3 p.m. Eastern time. So let's dive into this. Hopefully my video yesterday helped you guys get onto a new path. If you haven't watched it yet, you really do need to watch it. I know that the YouTube algorithm doesn't really like it when I do things outside of crypto and Cardano, but the feedback in the comments are very, very solid. And I definitely am looking forward to seeing more people put their goals out into the world, and you do that right in the comments of that video, because I read them and I'm hearting them, and I'm kind of keeping I want to keep a record of everybody kind of where you're at in your life and what your goals are. And then we're going to revisit that video in 2025, and we're going to see how many of you really followed through with the assignment, with the experiment, and we're going to see how many lives have been changed over the next year. So yeah, definitely make sure you watch that video and participate. I assure you it's going to help you. Is the video I did yesterday. It's got a little thumbnail of a guy who's basically unknowingly sitting on an entire ground full of money, and he's looking up at the sky and he's just thinking to himself. So check that video out. So let's dive into today and what we're going to get into. Where are you? Here it is. So Charles Hoskinson responds to research that claims Cardano is useless. Charles Hoskinson, Cardano founder, dismisses K33's research claim that Cardano's native token, ADA, is useless. These people. K33 research criticizes Cardano's limited presence in the stablecoin market and lack of meaningful DeFi activity on the network. Okay. Despite criticism, Hoskinson's dismissive response to the K33 research, which raises questions about Cardano's future trajectory. I can't pronounce words like that today. So the questions are, K33's research report asserts that a smart contract network's native token requires substantial use to hold any value. However, the firm claims ADA lacks such utility or a credible path toward achieving it. Analysts at K33 Research highlight the absence of proof of ADA's utilization beyond exchange transfers. They also alleged artificial activity by holders. This is really interesting because the majority of the Cardano that's out in circulation is being staked to nodes, not doing anything, just collecting interest. Immediately, this first paragraph just kind of blew me away. A pointed critique involves the stablecoin market on Cardano. In contrast to other networks where stablecoins like USD Tether, which I am afraid of and won't use unless I absolutely have to on a leverage platform, or USDC dominate DeFi altcoin investing, Cardano appears to have limited presence in this regard. It features only 20 million Cardano collateralized stablecoins valued below $1. Analysts argue this signifies a lack of meaningful decentralized finance activity on the network. It's funny because if you look at the decentralized activity on the network, it's constantly growing. So these narratives just keep coming from these players, and I call them players because when I dove into these folks, it's okay. Network stablecoin value relative to market cap of native token. It's funny. Cardano 0%. This is no different than like Masari keeping Cardano out of the majority of their reports altogether. They want to squash Cardano, and I think I'm more and more I'm realizing the reasoning behind it, and I do believe to some degree there's a coordinated effort behind all of this. The firm projects a bleak future for Cardano. K33 analysts believe that Cardano will fall into irrelevance despite initial hype. Initial hype, basically hype since 2017. They're calling that initial hype that has only continued to grow, expand alongside the development and growth of the blockchain overall. Isn't that interesting? Yet they support blockchains that just shut down. I find that interesting too. Similar to other blockchains like IOTA, NEO, and EOS that were basically dead on arrival. Let's be real. NEO, EOS, these projects were dead after their first cycle. Analysts attribute this to a lack of evolutionary growth in these blockchains and their tokens. Okay, so what do they constitute as evolutionary growth? Because there's like, I don't know, 1,300 projects being developed on Cardano right now, which is what the most developed on blockchain in existence. So do you understand the issue that I have with a lot of these groups out there? And I can't help but wonder, what is their actual motive behind bullshit like this? In response to criticizing claiming Cardano is useless, Charles Hoskinson questioned who K33 research was. These dismissive remarks suggest a disregard for the analysis presented. Yes, because it's bullshit. Charles says, who? Never heard of them. Yeah, I haven't either until I started looking them up. And then I found this on their on their website. Here's their team. Basically, they're out of Norway. And lo and behold, and I started researching these guys because I'm like, I guarantee you these guys have Wall Street ties. Guaranteed. And then I found this, K33, formerly Arcane Crypto. So I went and I looked up Arcane Crypto. Arcane Crypto lists on NASDAQ First North after reverse takeover. These guys run funds, and these guys work with Wall Street, and they are a part of the narrative. The same narratives that are ultimately fueling, lo and behold, Solana, and a lot of these more centralized applications and blockchains out there. Founded in 2018, so they just popped up, by CEO Torbjørn Bull Jensen, emerged as an operational unification of Web3 and cryptocurrency companies focused on financial services. In 2022, Arcane Crypto split into two businesses. Arcario, listed on NASDAQ First North Stockholm, retaining the original portfolio mandate. Interesting, a portfolio mandate, and K33 consolidating multiple portfolio companies. So basically, these guys are a digital asset investment firm who obviously have their personal agenda related to the tokens and the things that they invest in. And that, in a nutshell, tells me the majority of what I need to know, because a lot of the major supporters of everything out there, when it comes to Wall Street, is they like the more centralized, controlled assets that the venture capital groups and their cronies and their friends know and love, because they're more easily controlled profits in that. And the thing of it is, and there's more, but I'm going to turn this off for a second. The grand narrative that I'm seeing more and more, and it just continues to grow. Now we have another group that's popping up with their FUD and their bullshit about Cardano. But the reality is that Cardano is one of the most decentralized blockchains out there. They hate that. That means it can't be controlled. And while a lot of there's this pressure of Cardano basically paying fees to someone like Circle to establish, what is ultimately a multi-million-dollar project to bring USDC into the Cardano ecosystem. But see, the thing of it is that Cardano doesn't dictate things like that. In the nature of its decentralization and in the overall nature of how Cardano is operated, the founding groups associated with Cardano are not there to make these hard investments into other ventures that directly benefit Cardano overall. Ultimately, what could be construed as doing things financially to push the price up of an asset. Ultimately, saying we're in control, and there's all of this narrative around it. There's all this narrative. Cardano needs USDC, almost like bait, almost like saying, come on, here's an outlet. You can pay these guys $10 million and they'll do it and we'll all love it and shut up. Then we might go back and look at that Howey test and say, hey, looks like Cardano is actually controlled by its founding group and they're doing things to benefit Cardano's price action deliberately. Let's go check them out. And that is what this whole narrative all spins into play looks like to me. I could be wrong, but I'm always right sometimes. And this kind of stuff honestly does disgust me. Because these are groups that are not here to benefit you. They're not here to benefit the future of technology or decentralization. They're not even here ultimately to profit from the very value that the technology of Bitcoin and the like brings to the marketplace. They're just here to profit, period. That's it. End of story. And if they can all work together and create these narratives to try and get their competitors out of the game in any way, shape, or form, we're seeing what a very well-crafted and coordinated narrative with a lot of players involved perpetuating these narrative cycles about something that they want to get rid of. We see that every day right now. And that is also one of the other things that I believe is a part of why a lot of these groups are going after Cardano, because Charles is very vocal about his desire for freedom of speech, just the freedom in general to be able to live and let live, as opposed to the opposition, the oppression, and all of the things that we're seeing, the censorship and the control. Cryptocurrency on its face is very much about the decentralized lack of control that people can have over anyone's particular assets. But the powers that be that want to change the very paradigm of what we're all here for to begin with they're not about it. That's basically all it boils down to. And I see all of these narratives and I see this stuff. And of course, Charles is going to say how he feels about it. And when I look up these guys, you guys can look them up, do a deep dive into them if you want to. I think you'll probably be pretty interested to find out what you can. But this is just another one. This is just another group. We've got Masari, who we know loves Ethereum, and they love the Ethereum, and they love Solana, and they love all these other applications. They love all these other blockchains, but they don't like one of the most decentralized blockchains out there, even though the proof is in the numbers. That's all there is to it. And so I'm personally getting tired of seeing all of these narratives related to Cardano needs USDC. Cardano needs USDC. No, it doesn't, folks. No, it doesn't. Bitcoin, everything rose before USDC was ever a thing. And when we're talking about DeFi applications and DeFi transactions and the like, it's growing constantly. And keep in mind, the ability for Cardano to be able to actually start taking part in any DeFi finance or DeFi applications or any of that had just launched at the peak of the last bull cycle. So everything that's happened to date has basically been during a bear cycle and in the beginning legs of a bull run or a bull cycle. We haven't even seen a bull run yet. We've come down quite a bit just recently. And all in the eyes of these ETFs and all of this stuff, we're like, oh, it's all going to go to the moon, myself included. I'm like, these ETFs are going to pass. I expected there to be some suppression of the price to allow all of these big institutions to get into play and to get their hand, but I didn't realize it was going to drag out beyond. So I don't know what all means that these folks are getting into Bitcoin and accumulating what they need for their spot ETFs, but it's definitely not driving the price up right now. But it will, because as the supply continues to diminish, the demand is going to continue rising after the halving. And I believe that the price overall is going to skyrocket like anything we've ever seen before. And so I'm not worried about that long term. But these narratives that are trying to drive everybody's impressions, and I'm seeing it, people are starting to kind of buy into it a little bit. Yeah, Cardano has to have USDC to be relevant in today's market cycles. No, it doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't. That's all there is to it. No, it doesn't. Sure, it would help, and maybe it would help speed things along, but this narrative is only trying to push Cardano into making bad decisions when it's not there to make those decisions. That's what Project Catalyst is for. That's what the decentralized nature of Cardano is all about, that there isn't any one individual capable of dictating the terms of what happens on the blockchain. Do you not get it, people? And when we're talking about an era of Voltaire, this is an era for governance. We want to establish a framework by which the community governs the blockchain overall, not any one, two, or three entities associated with its genesis, if you will. And we're migrating towards that day by day by day. And there will be a time when if you want to establish something like this, you'll be able to do so. And there are people that are working on it now. This idea that we have to have the one thing that other blockchains are using for whatever reason or however, that's not relevant to Cardano, in my opinion, because Cardano has always done things a bit differently, a little safer and a little more secure. Let's be real about it, as we're watching the continuous litany of hacks that are happening across the board, across all of these different blockchains and applications you use. And I'm just tired of it. I'm truly tired of it. Just shut the hell up already. Why don't you just sit there and patiently wait? And if you don't like waiting because you're so used to your $100 becoming $100,000 overnight investing in the next meme coin, shit coin project, then keep doing that. That's all there really is to it. That's okay. If that's your prerogative, but I'm not just here for turning my $100 into $1,000 tomorrow. I'm okay waiting a little while and being much more risk averse to the chaos that is the cryptocurrency world out there today. I want to stick with what I believe is being developed for the sole purpose of empowering the people to be able to achieve new things that other blockchains are going to be very much more, and I'm sure growingly resistant to over time as more regulations set in, because believe me, I'm sure they're coming and they're working on all this stuff now. So you guys keep going with the grand narrative. That's okay. But to continue perpetuating these narratives across the internet with a bunch of bullshit just to try and keep a competitor out of the space of the bag you hold, to that all I have to say is eat it, because it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, because the cream will always rise to the top. It doesn't matter how much spice you put in the bowl. So that's really all there is to it. Cardano down over 12% in a month as stablecoin launched is pushed back. Sell all your ADA, the report says. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. So Cardano's, I don't even have everything pulled up right now. But you know, this is an article related to USDM. Cardano's much anticipated stablecoin Mehen USDM has faced delays in its launch date. Originally set to launch on January 16, 2024, the Cardano team behind Mehen has pushed the release date back 2 months. Ultimately, they found some issues with the smart contracts because I guess so the delay comes after an audit of Mehen smart contracts by Sunday Labs surfaced issues that needed to be addressed prior to launch. It's funny because they actually find this stuff beforehand rather than just launching the shit and then finding out later when it's been hacked and torn to pieces and a bunch of money lost. But see, that's the narrative. That's the way everybody talks, because everybody's so used to just throwing shit to the wall, seeing what sticks and seeing who can make what before the collapse happens. And they don't like the approach that Cardano and Cardano-based applications have. They try to do things properly the first time so that they don't have to work backwards and correct a bunch of issues. This is good. But these people are trying to make these narratives as though this is a bad thing. Oh, they found an issue with the smart contract. They're pushing things back. Rather than, yeah, we found what this issue is, but let's go ahead and ride with it, launch it preemptively, and let's just hope things don't get bad before we're able to address it later. And that's what we see on the majority of blockchains out there. Everybody's in such a rush to try and be first to market. Everybody's in such a rush to try and capture market share and then fix all the problems later. And that is not the approach of Cardano, which is why I'm more than happy waiting patiently. It's no different than a big AAA game that's getting ready to come out. And, you know, people are like, oh, it's a buggy mess. It's shit. It's terrible. And it's going to take a year for them to fix this. But everybody's constantly pushing for a release date tomorrow. We want it now. We want it now. We want it now. And that's just not the way things should be done. People need to have some patience. So it is what it is on that front. Cardano sees impressive growth, sets the stage for a promising 2024. Solana users, it's funny on the sidebar here, most read, Solana users lose $4 million to airdrop scammers. I mean, this was a big point of why Solana's been pumping. I almost kind of want to look at that because I find that a little interesting. In recent weeks, a disturbing trend has emerged with the Solana ecosystem where two malicious programs, Rainbow Drainer and Node Drainer, have successfully pilfered millions of dollars in crypto assets from unsuspecting users. According to a comprehensive analysis conducted by Scam Sniffer and the Crypto Analyst, but this is what these folks love. This is what all of these major funds and VC guys, this is what they love. This is their baby right here. Drained of their $4 million because of these airdrops. And if you paid attention, these airdrops are what have been pushing the Solana value up, because in order to get the airdrops, you have to own Solana. So basically, they're pumping up the value of these tokens by pushing up all of these bullshit airdrops. Now people are losing money from these airdrops, and nothing. What's done? Nothing. But isn't that ironic? That wasn't even a part of this. It just happens to be there. Cardano fam, here's your weekly update. Wanted to compare Y over Y growth, year over year growth. In 1 year, Cardano has added 44 projects have gone live. Oops. Yeah, well, we'll just follow. We'll look at the tweet, Chris O. The OC Crypto Bro. And apparently I follow you too already. So good. 1.9 million tokens, 14,581 Plutus version 2 scripts, not even version 1, 24.1 million transactions. And then here's the overall report. Improvements in benchmarking of the UTXO HD prototype. Cardano wallet and node version 1.34.5, tested before release. Ongoing work on script capacity increase. Plutus Debugger MVP and Marconi, the first iteration of a toolkit for developing custom side chains on Cardano released. I am looking forward to Midnight's stuff. I'm still waiting to learn more about Midnight. Project Catalyst presents special voting events. I'm actually looking to be voting on SoBlocks in this Project Catalyst because we have a proposal for like 500,000 ADA to start taking SoBlocks to the next level. And, we'll see what happens. I'm going to be voting with everything that I can and try and get that funding, because I can't just call Charles and say, hey, Charles, do you like the potential use case for this? I'd really love for you to, send some funds my way directly. He can't do that. Because that's just not the nature of Cardano. And if he were able to do that, it would completely negate the entire point behind Cardano and its decentralized nature. So, while we're constantly talking and complaining about all of these different things, this is the nature of building something that operates itself. It runs itself. All we can do is improve it technologically and support it through side projects that are running and being built for the particular blockchain. So listen, folks, I don't really care if you love any other project out there. I have a bunch of them myself. I'm with you. I hear you. But when it comes to these narratives that are being pushed out there by all of these folks with very focused and very real bags, investments, things that they're holding on to that they bought into whenever, and they're constantly trying to push down a major competitor, stop buying into these narratives and start using your head. You've got to start putting the dots together, connect the dots. And that's really it. That's really all I have to say today. I know that as we continue pushing forward into this next bull market, we're going to see more and more bullshit like this popping up all the time. And you know what? listen, when anything comes out that has some legs, that actually states anything that's merited in fact, I'll report it. I'll tell you, like, this is a problem. There have been a couple things over the past year and a half that have popped up, and I've flat out said, this pisses me off. I'll tell you, like, it is what it is, but a lot of people just aren't that honest, to be quite frank with you. And a lot of people they'll ignore things that they think are going to hurt them, and then they'll magnify things that they think are going to help them. I ended up being wrong about what I was bothered by. I can't even remember what it was now. It had something to do with Cardano Foundation, and I can't even remember, but I was very open about the fact that it bothered me. But it is what it is, folks. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm hard at work. I've got some stuff that I've been working on. We're working on the game. We're working on so many different things. And, we're actually going to be making some changes to Crow Trader, because I want to basically, I'm hoping that my dev is able to do it. I want to basically take that bot. I want to set it up so that you can use artificial intelligence to create trading scripts from YouTube videos that break down particular strategies. You run that video in, you can create the script. There's somebody named MoonDev that I've been watching recently. He's got a system that does this. I'm going to try and work something out with him if I can get a hold of him directly. And you can basically take those scripts and throw them right into the bot, and the bot will trade them for you. So basically the number of strategies will quite literally be endless. And I'm looking forward to that, because I love experimenting with this stuff. So listen, that's all for now. I mean, listen, I Crow your coins. I'll see you soon. I might go buy some more Cardano just for the hell of it. I'll see you guys.